Now, the stage is set for the ANC's 111th anniversary celebrations in Bloemfontein, and party president Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver his speech today. That January 8th statement, of course, now it outlines the party's program for the year ahead, and at least 15,000 supporters are expected to attend the celebrations today. As we can see here from these visuals, that the stadium is filling up at the moment, and it's expected that there will be, like I said, thousands of people gathering there today. We've seen so many ANC officials also arriving, as we can see there on the stage, many of them arriving now. Music and celebrations underway. The oldest liberation movement on the continent, of course, has been divided by so many factions within the ANC. And of course, we have so many celebrations happening right now there in Bloemfontein, but it is marred by also so much controversy. Like we say, it is a divided ANC, even though they are speaking of unity. And of course, we are also going to have to take a look at so many other issues that the country faces. And hopefully, President Cyril Ramaphosa will be talking about a lot of these issues, these socioeconomic issues. Let's take a listen now to Siphamandla Goge. He is there somewhere, and we will be linking with him shortly. Siphamandla, if you can hear me, what can you tell us there at the moment? What's been happening there?
Well, it's a hive of activities here. We are waiting for the ANC leadership to arrive at the stadium. It's getting quite full. My colleague Mkize will show you the visuals of these ANC members that have packed the stands here. It's quite a decent turnout. It's a celebration, 111 years of the ANC, and then, you know, ANC members are just coming here to have this celebration. So we will be talking to a number of young people who are members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, newly elected members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC. I've spotted some of them, including Donald Selamulela here, who's originally from Limpopo. Please come through, my brother. Donald is from Limpopo, former PEC member of the ANC in Limpopo, now newly elected NEC member. As a newly elected NEC member of the ANC, a relatively young person, celebrating 111 years of the ANC's existence, what does that mean to you?
Well, it means we have great work on our shoulders as the newly elected members to come, and especially because we are relatively young, to bring about the new energy into the National Executive in the spirit of renewal. You would know that from NASREC 2017, we've been preaching about organizational renewal, and part of this organizational renewal will require of the movement, will require of all of us to actually put in new energy, and I think we are coming in with that particular responsibility. We know there is so much expectation from many people out there who expect us to make a serious contribution into this National Executive Committee.
Young people are suffering in South Africa. You have an opportunity to be a member of the highest decision-making body of the ANC. Where you come from in Limpopo, issues of poverty, unemployment, teenage pregnancy are some of the issues that worry the people of that province. How are you going to influence change within the ANC so that your deployees to government deliver for the people? The South Africans have been waiting for far too long.
Key for us is that we are at this summit level where the policy decision making is being made. So we'll be looking closely and making our very important contribution in as far as policy development is concerned, that which has to deal with these issues of the triple challenges facing our people, particularly the young people in our provinces and across the country.
Thank you very much for your time. One of the newly elected National Executive Committee members of the ANC, Donald Selamulela. I've spotted Kusela Digo. Please join me, my sister. Kusela Digo is also one of those leaders who have been elected to the National Executive Committee of the ANC. Thank you very much for your time. You've been in leadership structures and positions within the ANC, whether ANC Youth League, Provincial Executive Committee in Gauteng, now NEC. What are you bringing as young people to that highest decision-making body structure of the ANC?
Thank you very much, Siphamandla. Well, I think the National Conference had defined this moment in the life of the ANC as one of fundamental consequence, which means that as young people, as members of the ANC in general, we need to understand that now is the time for us to work with greater urgency to resolve the challenges facing our people. As young people, or the younger people in the ANC, what we hope to bring is really that impetus and a focus on the burning platforms that South Africa faces. These are the issues of unemployment, youth unemployment in particular. These are the issues of the energy crisis that we're experiencing in our country. These are the issues of gender-based violence and femicide. And these are also about the issues of substance abuse, which is a problem that I think afflicts young people a lot and that we are not giving sufficient focus to. So we have already started in the NEC trying to raise those issues with the leadership that has been elected together with us, and that's what we're going to be doing moving forward, listening to the young people, ensure that we are able to represent them properly.
Your critics will say the ANC system has a tendency of quote-unquote swallowing young people who have got potential, who are militant, who are vibrant and radical. How are you going to make sure that that does not happen to you as young leaders of the ANC? Because South African youth is tired of waiting. You've been governing South Africa since 1994. Strides have been made, positive gains have been registered, but there are too many challenges.
You know, I think that young people and younger people that have been elected into leadership positions of the African National Congress, they need to understand that they are not there to just be furniture. They are not there to just make up numbers. But we need to feel what it is that when we talk about generational mix, in certain quarters even talk about generational takeover. Because we're saying these are supposed to be energetic young people who bring fresh, progressive new ideas. The ANC has been in power for almost 30 years now. And it's time that we understand that the world is changing, right? So when we talk about rapid technological change, when we talk about 4IR, when we talk about the need to industrialize our country, it is these young people who have grown up in these situations that need to come to the fore. So we will be using our numbers in the NEC to ensure that we're able to push those agendas.
When the ANC said it was ready to govern, is this the kind of society that it envisaged? A society plagued by highest unemployment rate, violent crime, corruption, misgovernance and dysfunctional municipalities. Where we are in Mangaung, the only metro is under administration. Everything has collapsed. When you drive around, there are potholes everywhere. Is this the kind of society you wanted to govern when you said we are ready to govern?
Siphamandla, the African National Congress has always been upfront about the challenges that it faces. But we must also, as we look about the society that we have today, we must be realistic and appreciate the many changes, positive changes that the ANC has brought about. So that narrative must never be forgotten. You now live in a country with a constitution that is almost unparalleled in the world. We've expanded service delivery beyond what was the exclusive right of a minority. You now have a society that looks after the most vulnerable. Now that is not to take away from the fact that we're experiencing challenges. And as the ANC, we are working constantly to ensure that those challenges are adequately addressed.
111 years without a woman president, the ANC has made positive gains and strides in women emancipation, but a lot still needs to happen. At some point, this narrative has to change. The leadership outlook has to change. It cannot be that women are not at the top archers of power within the ANC.
Well, women are at the top of echelons of power in the ANC. For the first time, we can recognize almost 50% of women in the top 7 in the national officials. Now that is unprecedented. We agree that a lot more needs to be done. And those are the reasons why we're saying from now on, and it's a resolution that we've taken at this conference, that in the top structures, which is the national officials, provincial, regional office bearers, we must see at least 50% of women. But we're also not talking just about women leaders. We're talking about producing strong, credible leaders, whether they be men or women. And we are well on the way to doing that.
The ANC Youth League has collapsed. It needs to be revived. As someone who once participated in that vibrant structure of the ANC Youth League, what needs to happen to revive the ANC Youth League?
Well, there's work that's being done to rebuild the ANC Youth League. And I think if you would have seen yesterday, where young people came out in their numbers in celebration of our founding president, Peter Mugabe, you can see that work is being done. And we're confident that they are going to go to their conference this year. But that work continues to rebuild the youth league.
a cabinet reshuffle is looming. There are calls for young people to feature strongly there. What is your take?
We trust that the president will exercise his prerogative in a manner that takes that particular issue into account.
Thank you very much for your time. Kusela Digo, the member of the National Executive Committee.